Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Good Friday afternoon. Thank you kindly for joining us. My name is Jerry Miller. We are live in Charlottesville, across Albemarle County, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth country in the world, on the I Love CVille Network. And today's show is going to be absolutely dynamite. For the second time in a short period of time, a brand and a name that Central Virginia is growing very fondly of. And it's a councilman from Danville, Virginia, that's going to join us on the program. His name is Vogler. This gentleman, innovative, creative, a galvanizer of citizens and taxpayers and community members, and a gentleman with a bright political future. I'll give you the background before we welcome Councilman Vogler to the show in about 10 seconds. On an 8-1 vote, with an 8-1 vote on Tuesday evening, Danville, Virginia is literally on the cusp of being the first jurisdiction in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia with a year-round designated outdoor refreshment area. It's going to be a foundation for success for the comeback city in the River District, and what I think is going to be an incredible driver of incremental tax revenue, an incredible capture of tourist dollars, and what will serve as a focal point for destinational travel across the Mid-Atlantic for Danville. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Let's go to the two-shot with Nicole Harris, with Tina Compton watching, with multiple media outlets in Danville now watching the program. Judah, two-shot, please. Vogler, you are live for the Commonwealth. First, good afternoon. Second, dude, you are promising, are fulfilling the promises that you have made for constituents, for taxpayers, for voters in Danville. Congratulations, good afternoon, and Vogler, I am so pumped to have you on the show. Can you tell?
I can tell, Jerry. You got me pumped up, man. I got to keep you around with me everywhere. You got me fired up on this Friday.
Give us the nitty-gritty, my friend. 8-1 vote on Tuesday night, designated outdoor refreshment area for Danville in the River District. The show is yours, sir.
Well, as we talked about last time, this was something that a number of our citizens had asked for a long time. And, of course, with the state legislation last year, gave us the opportunity to get the ball in motion to get this to happen here in Danville. And we were thankful to see it passed overwhelmingly Tuesday night. And I want to thank my fellow council members, my team members, as I like to say, because we have a great team here. So I want to thank them and the staff and everybody who helped make this happen. And now it's just sending the permit application to the ABC, and as soon as we get it back from them, man, we're ready to roll.
So how's the process work? 60 to 90 days for the ABC to respond, is that about right?
That's what I've been told. That's typically what the expected turnaround is. I hope it's closer to the 60 rather than the 90, or if it's less than that, that'd be even better. But folks are very excited about it, and we're just waiting for the go-ahead to get it up and running.
What do you talk to us about the nuanced elements that went into this vote? I mean, 8-1 is overwhelming support for this idea. What was some of the feedback, pros, and we'll be balanced here, maybe even some of the cons for the concept?
Well, the pros and well, first of all, I think what made everybody on council, or almost everybody on council, feel comfortable about it was that our staff had put so much time and effort into doing this and doing it the right way. It wasn't something that was thrown together haphazardly. This was months and months of work and research and feedback. And although we will be the first in Virginia, this is a concept that's been utilized in other states and done very well for quite a while. So we did have some reference to go by, but we're happy to be the first in Virginia. And so through that process, and then just, it's collaborative. It's sitting down with your teammates on council and talking it out and hearing out any concerns or issues. But the feedback we got from the public was overwhelmingly positive. I think there was maybe some questions about, is this going to cause an increase in drinking and driving? And so we actually preemptively have taken steps to offset that by having these designated pickup areas that will be in the zone for Uber and Lyft and all of those things. And that wasn't something we were required to do. That was something that we wanted to do. And so we got feedback from the local restaurants, and they're all very excited about it because it just gives them opportunities to bring in new customers and to find ways to be creative to bring in new revenue to their businesses.
Josh Sofridi watching the program right now with the question. Josh would like to know who was the one no that voted against this, Councilman Vogler.
That was Madison Whittle. Madison's a good guy, but we couldn't get him to come along on this. But we still love you, Madison.
This question for you. This is from me, and we'll get to, guys, if you'd like to ask Councilman Vogler some questions or share some positive perspective with him, put them in the comments section, and I will relay it live on air. You got the local TV station here in Central Virginia watching you, Councilman Lee Vogler. So I've been, as you know, championing this idea for Charlottesville for, it seems like going on, since the legislation was allowed it. So it's an extended period of time. I've caught some resistance from our councilmen here, our councilors in Charlottesville, specifically from Mayor Lloyd Snook. And he'd indicated that he was a little uncertain with the true tax revenue impact of an idea like this. So I'm curious if Danville has run some projections or done some back-of-the-napkin estimates perhaps on what this could do as a new source of tax revenue. It's not just meals tax here. This is undoubtedly, occupancy, transient occupancy taxes, a tourist. This could be utilized in tourism marketing material to attract folks coming to the area, which seems like it's the best kind of tax dollars. Tourists come and visit Danville. They don't tax your infrastructure like schools or roads for an extended period of time. They come with the mindset of spending money, and then they leave. Then they leave. That's the best kind of tax revenue here. Your thoughts on this topic in general?
Well, we haven't run specific projections on what we think this particular initiative might bring in, but we could certainly start giving feedback on once it's up and running what the numbers are. And I think it'll be clear to see if you see an uptick in meals tax and all of that coming from the district, you'll know that it's certainly been a part of it. I mean, we're certainly looking at tourism in general with Caesars coming and a number of initiatives that we've got. We've got a beautiful riverfront park that's being built down there. And so we've got a whole tourism effort that's underway here in Danville, unlike anything Danville's ever seen before. And this is certainly, again, just another feather in the cap of what we've been working on. And we're very excited about it because, as you said, you have these big things like a Caesars, for example, that you see, and you know what that can bring in. But at the same time, to have your local restaurants, we've got, I think, 10 ABC licensed businesses just already in the River District. For them, let's just say it has a 10% increase in their revenues each month, what that does for them and what that does for the locality. And it may end up being more than that. I just throw that out as an example, and that adds up. And so we're excited to continue to make Danville a destination for people to come visit, and we're very excited about this as we think it just enhances what we're already building in our River District.
Andrew Morrison says this: "Go Danville, go. Love seeing the changes that are going to lure mobile workers looking for a unique place to live and work." Nicholas Wright, go Danville. John Blair, city attorney over at Stanton, offered this perspective yesterday on a chain that you were tagged on over on LinkedIn, and we're broadcasting across all social media channels. And John Blair follows local governments across the Commonwealth as closely as anyone I know. He says, "Jerry, I think it is also worth pointing out that the Danville City Council approved a major apartment development in their West Main Street corridor last night. He said, this is an enormous step for the city. Those apartments will be within walking distance of downtown and literally less than a quarter mile from a major employment center, the city's hospital. This is the type of development that Charlottesville desperately needs and really has not had since City Walk. Here's a link to the article." I mean, the guy's given me everything I need from GoDanRiver.com. John Blair, I love you. Then he gives you props and Alonzo Jones some props here. So that topic to you, Councilman Vogler, anywhere you want to go on that one?
Well, first of all, John, thank you. And John has been a great advocate, for Danville. He's plugging a lot of the work that we've done over the years on social media, and I certainly appreciate that. And this is a $20 million project that's going to be 162 apartment units, very nice apartment units. We haven't had a development of this nature in quite some time. Now, we've had great renovation projects in the River District where we've taken the tobacco warehouses and turned them into loft apartments, but this is all brand new construction. As was mentioned, it's right there at the hospital. It is within walking distance to Avard University, walking distance to downtown, and quite frankly, walking distance of where Caesars is going to be. So very exciting project, and still got some little things to work out in terms of the traffic coming in and out of it. But the project itself was approved, and we're very excited about. And it just speaks to, the growth that's happening here in Danville, and to the point you made a minute ago about the environment that we're in now, where a lot of folks can choose to live wherever they want and work from wherever they want. Danville is an incredibly affordable place to live. The cost of living here is beautiful, and so we are just trying to improve these quality of life factors. We've got 2 splash parks that are being built, and neighborhood parks that'll be open this summer, and a much larger one that'll be open next summer in one of our large city parks. So just a number of things like this that we're trying to add amenities to make Danville a great place to live. So we're excited about all these new projects that are coming, and the one that was mentioned this week, of course.
This from Nicole Harris. Great job on getting this passed. Even more excited, even more exciting news for Danville. I got to highlight this, man. The comeback city. I have never been more excited or bullish or see positive tailwinds behind Danville. You got what you've already highlighted, affordability from a housing standpoint. And housing affordability is a concern all over the Commonwealth, all over the country. I mean, let's cut to the chase. Certainly in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Look at what we're doing right now. I'm talking with a city councilman through a computer, and it's like I'm in person. So it's just an indication that people can Zoom or the Zoomtown moniker work from anywhere and still get their job done. So you can undoubtedly see how folks can look at the Commonwealth and say, let's think about quality of life outdoors. Let's think about stuff to do, great restaurants. Let's think about this designated outdoor refreshment area. You got a Caesars coming here. It's in the mid-Atlantic. It's got affordable housing if you'd like to get in the game from a purchasing standpoint, and eventually we all do. I mean, Councilman Vogler, the show is yours on this. I am so excited for the short and long-term future of Danville, Virginia. We'll cut to the chase. A jurisdiction that has hit a couple rough spots in the past. You guys have fixed this and are fixing it and creating a positive runway of developments. And by developments, I mean activity in the future. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, thank you. And as you mentioned, I mean, we were in a very rough spot 10, 12, 15 years ago, and a lot of localities never recovered from what we went through, losing our prime industry and then had a national recession on top of it. But nobody was crying and feeling sorry for themselves. Everybody rolled up their sleeves and said, let's get to work. Let's start building a new Danville. And what you see today is a new Danville, and one that's going to continue to grow and continue to thrive. And we're very excited that what we've known for the last 5 or 6 years is now starting to be learned by folks far and wide, and we're very excited about it. And, we have a number of amenities, as you mentioned, and as I spoke about earlier, that are here in the city, but also we're geographically located in a great spot for folks who, you want to go to the beach, it's 3 hours away. You want to go to the mountains, you're an hour away. I mean, we are in the middle of so many other places that if you want to get away for a weekend or a day or two or whatever, it's not a far drive at all. So you could have great cost of living, still have a number of amenities here, but be in the middle of so many other places as well within just a short drive.
So you got props and praise and questions coming in here left and right. And folks, we're live on every social media platform known to mankind. This is from Jennifer Smith watching here in Charlottesville. Jerry, I can't help but recognize how young the councilman is. Can you ask him if he's caught some resistance on some of this innovation due to youth? And then she says, we need youth like this and thinking like this in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, God bless you. I'm a 10-year veteran at it now, but I'm still, I guess, I was 24, as we mentioned last time when I first got elected. I'm 34 now, and the father of 2 beautiful young kids. But it's hard when you first start doing something. I'll say, 10 years ago, trying to get new things pushed through was a little more difficult than maybe it is today. But I'll go back to the fact that we have a great team. We have a council up and down the board, regardless of age, that is totally committed to change and progress and innovation here in Danville. And so without that team, nothing that I say or present would matter if you can't get folks to come along with you. And they're all on board. And so it's great, whether it's an idea I have or a citizen has or another council member has. we all work together to fine tune things and to make them a reality. And as you mentioned earlier, I mean, we approved this DORA with an 8-1 vote. So, if it was just me talking about it, it never would have happened. So we had to get everybody on board, and we're just blessed to have a great team here.
Tina Compton, Councilman Vogler, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for having a voice and not being afraid to use it. Your hard work is helping our city already and the things to come. Wow, this is awesome and much needed, the DORA. I think this is what's going to happen. Frankly, and I'll cut to the chase here. I think that the jurisdictions across the Commonwealth are going to realize how innovative Danville has been, and your fellow councilors. They're going to see proof of performance. We call it a POP in my business. We'll see that the POP in Danville with the DORA, the designated outdoor refreshment area, has been incredible. They're going to feel a sense of jurisdictional competition because we all want the tourist tax dollars, and tourists are going to be sprinting to Danville's River District because of this DORA, because of the Caesars. And I think you will have jurisdictions in the Commonwealth watch you guys very closely and how you are executing this with the concept of duplication, essentially the copycat mentality. Have you guys had that discussion internally in Danville about that?
Yeah, we love leading the way. So whenever we can be an example for others to follow, we're happy to do it. I'll give another example. We've got a great police chief here and a great police department. And 5-6 years ago, Danville was in really rough shape with crime. I'll be honest. I mean, we had highs in homicides, higher than we'd ever had before. And we innovated, we changed, we implemented new solutions, and we had a great police chief come in who was more than willing to do every single one of them. And now we're at record lows in homicides, violent crime, and across the board, crime is down here. And so we've had other localities reach out to us now, asking us how we did it. So if I'd said that 5 years ago, it would have been unbelievable. But now that's the case. So other localities have said, "How did you do it? How can we do it?" And so I hope that that's the case with this as well. We're happy to lead the way on this, and I hope a number of other localities will follow, because I love visiting other localities. I've spent a lot of money in Charlottesville over the years, so we'll be happy to have some of you guys come down this way and return the favor. But anytime I go on a trip anywhere, I'm always looking for things that locality's doing that we might not be doing, and how can we do it here in Danville and make Danville better. And so sometimes it drives my wife crazy if we're on a vacation. It's never fully a vacation, because the city councilman and me never quite stops going. If I'll see something and I'll say, "Hey, we should do that here," and she'll say, "Lee, we're on vacation. Come on."
Sounds like my wife. And I love you, sweetheart, dearly. Folks like us just can't stop working, because when you make your passion your profession, you don't work a day in your life. And I think Councilman Vogler certainly embodies that statement right there. This is from Neil Williamson, who's watching. He is the president of the Free Enterprise Forum. He's given a stat for our community about Caesars, Virginia. And I'd love to get a take for you on Caesars, Virginia, maybe a timeline, anything that's new that we could highlight. But he says Caesars, and this is from guys from GoDanvilleRiver.com. Caesars, Virginia plans a $500 million destination resort casino at the former Dan River Inc. site in Schoolfield. The project is estimated to bring in $38 million in revenue to the city annually, which means officials will have to determine how to spend the added money. So this is a multi-part question here. Timeline, how the added money is going to be spent, obviously. And the third part question I'm going to add is, it seems like a DORA would be a natural around the Caesars here. So anywhere you want to go on those, Councilman?
Well, to your last point, yes, you're correct. So, we'll have two other DORAs that we'll be able to set up in the city of Danville eventually, and certainly that Schoolfield district, which is where Caesars will be located, is high on the list of where we'll be considering to go next. They're actually undergoing a master plan for the Schoolfield district right now as we speak, about rebranding and revitalizing that whole area. Certainly Caesars will be the anchor of it, but a number of other things happening there as well, much like what we did 10 years ago with the downtown and the River District. So we'll be doing that, and the DORA will be a part of it. The Caesars process was an interesting one. If I can go back just a few years for it, again, we talk about leading the way. So we did our process maybe a little bit different than the other localities did at the time, in that we went to an RFP. We said, look, if we're going to have a casino come in here, we want to make sure that we're getting the absolute best deal possible. And so we put out open bid, and we had 7 bids that came in. We had a couple more who tried to come in after the fact, but we said, sorry, it's too late now. But we had 7 come in, and without giving away who they were, if you think of anyone who is someone in the casino industry, they tried to be D1 in Danville. And through the process, we narrowed it down, and because we did the RFP and because we ended up being the last one to choose their operator, it helped us enhance the deal that we got in the end, and we were able to get a better deal and a better deal, and everyone was competing. And you know how that works. When you're competing, the ante gets upped. And so we ended up getting a $20 million upfront payment from Caesars, and then of course revenue guarantees, whether they end up opening on time or not. The city's guaranteed $5 million a year no matter what. So if we have, God forbid, another pandemic and they have to close or something, we still get $5 million a year at least, no matter what the revenues are there. And then the projected revenue speaks for itself, $38 million a year. So everything, they're on track. They're doing construction now. They're tearing down one of the old mill facilities. So for those who don't know, they're going on the site or one of the sites of Dan River Mills, where it used to be. And so to go from one icon to another in our city is something that is rare to see in a place. But they're keeping those iconic smokestacks there as a part of the branding of this Caesars, which is neat. Our Caesars will be completely different than any other in America. And so we're excited about that. And I could go on and on and on, but I hope I touched on what you wanted.
You did. Barbara Platt Mills. Hi, Lee. Thanks for all the great work you do. Man, you are beloved. I can just tell from the social media how much people enjoy your leadership and respect your leadership. How about an anecdote, if you could, from a small business that you've interacted with in Danville? And how the small business owner, their team, is excited about the future with the Dora, with the Caesars on the near horizon, and how they're ready to just to enjoy a long stretch of positivity in Danville.
Oh, well, I could name drop a bunch, but I'll end up leaving some out. But just anecdotally, I'll tell you the excitement is there because a rising tide lifts all boats, and so anything that we can do to enhance our city as a whole is great for local businesses. And the amount of visitors that are going to come each year to Caesars those are opportunities for new customers for all these small businesses in our area. I know one in particular that's going to be very close to where Caesars is that is thrilled beyond belief for the amount of people that are potentially going to be walking through their doors. And with the Dora down in the River District, again, it allows. You know, we have a restaurant called Me's, for example, that's right there on Main Street Plaza, and where our JTI fountain is, and it's a great kind of central hub of the River District, and they're right there at it. Very popular burger restaurant with beer and everything else you can imagine. Very popular. So sometimes you have a little bit of a wait list for people to get in. Well, now you can give somebody a beer, let them walk around the plaza and enjoy the night air. It's made their waiting room quite a bit bigger, if that makes sense. So. That's just one example of a number of places that'll be able to tap into this and make more money, which is great.
Great take, Councilman. A couple more questions, and Lee Vogler, guys, our guest. For those that are live streaming on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts in their vehicles around the Commonwealth, multiple folks are asking, I'm seeing on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube about any additional costs that are being accrued with executing the designated outdoor refreshment area. So maybe I'll paraphrase all these comments and say any additional costs associated with police, with signage, and with lack of a better phrase, zoning enforcement. And by zoning, I mean the area where the Dora is encompassed to or situated within.
Well, the great thing about where we chose being the River District, so as far as the boundaries of the district and having to set that up, we use an existing boundary. That's part of the reason why the River District was chosen, is that we literally just laid this on top of what is already there and what is already zoned. So we didn't have to do anything on that front. I mean, there'll be a marginal cost with signage. You know, I don't know what that exact figure is yet, but it's relatively small, I would imagine. We have police presence that it's down there fairly regularly. Our police station at the moment still is right there in the district. So they have a presence down there anyway, so there's no increased cost really with that. And again, I think the tax revenue that's going to come out of this will far exceed any marginal upfront costs that we have to do. So again, this is something that we view as a positive. We didn't have any kind of pushback on that front. There was no concern about what the signs may cost, and it may just be a example because it's an existing district. We have a lot of signage around the district anyway. You might just be able to add some verbiage onto existing signage, which would save some money too. But again, anything with that is marginal at most.
Last question for you. I think you're phenomenal. This guy is fantastic. Closing thoughts for the community, for Danville, for the short and long-term future of what you guys are doing.
There's never been a more exciting time to live in Danville than right now, and I'm just blessed to be a small part of it. And I'm thankful to all our citizens who've given me this opportunity to do it for 10 years now, and hope to continue doing it and serve this city and this region. And it's an exciting time. And if you're not in Danville, come on down. If you want to come on down for a weekend, or if you want to buy some property down here, either way, we'd love to have you, and reach out to me personally. I'd be happy to show you around.
Thank you to Councilman Lee Vogler right there. Freudian slip done intentionally. You are fantastic. We wish you nothing but the best, and I very much look forward to the continued connection with you, Lee. I'm just grateful for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
You have a good one.
You too, man.
All right, he's great, guys. I will say this. I am so impressed. So the I Love CVille Network, this network that the show is being broadcasted upon, in 2021, 253,000 unique IP addresses, and within 40 miles of Charlottesville. 4 million plus unique IP addresses on this network in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and over 8 million unique IP addresses watching the program, watching the network across the country and elsewhere. So the reach is substantial when you put positive content on social media and utilize social media for the good, and highlighting positivity and galvanizing communities, which is literally what we try to do here. Okay? We use it for the good. And I'll say this, understanding the responsibility of a reach of this substance and this depth, I see Danville and the region around Danville is having the most upside, positivity and potential of any region in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'm going to give you facts behind that statement. I know some of you are saying, oh, come on, Jerry, come on. Here are the facts. Housing everywhere, not just Virginia, not just central Virginia, not just Charlottesville, not just Danville, not just the country. The housing everywhere is out of control expensive. We are clearly under inventoried nationally. The 2008, 2009, 2010 recession associated with real estate took a lot of builders out of building homes. Furthermore, labor, skilled labor, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, drywall guys, brick mason, roofers, we don't have enough of them. There's not enough skilled labor out there. You add the red tape associated with government, building permits, getting new construction completed in timely fashion, escalating interest rates, escalating assessments, escalating real estate tax rates, all these the COVID pandemic, all these things are colliding or have collided at the exact same time. And the collateral damage of this collision is expensive homes and very costly ecosystems for purchasing those homes. So you look at the Commonwealth and you ask yourself, where's the most affordable real estate in the Commonwealth of Virginia? Well, we know it's not Northern Virginia. We can strike the DC, Fairfax, Arlington, McLean, Northern Virginia area altogether. That's the most expensive, and it's clear cut. We know it's not central Virginia, where Charlottesville and Albemarle County is, where we're broadcasting this program. Home values in Charlottesville and Albemarle County are up, depending on the zip code, 25 to 40% over the last 2 years. 25 to 40%, and they're getting more expensive. We understand the beach area and the Hampton Roads area is as expensive as ever before. Certainly the case for the Richmond area. The areas I just mentioned are the majority of the Commonwealth. How about the New River Valley and the Roanoke Valley? That's more expensive than it's ever been before. You look at the Commonwealth in totality and you ask yourself, where's the most affordable housing? Danville area, southwestern Virginia. You ask yourself this question. So let me get something straight. I can work from my employer, I can work for my boss, and my boss now, post-pandemic, has given me the ability, as long as I get my work done, to work from anywhere. As long as I get my work done, I can work remotely from anywhere, from an ISP, and my Fruit of the Looms, my BVDs, my bathrobe, my pajamas. I just got to get my work done. Ask yourself, why would employees continue and choose to live in high cost of living regions if they have the ability to work from anywhere? Right? Eventually, common sense will prevail. And the thinking will be, let's pick an area of our Commonwealth where our money in these inflationary times will go the furthest. Inflation's trending at 8%. Housing affordability is the worst it's ever been in American history. Interest rates are rising, making housing purchases even more difficult, steepening the barrier of entry. Gasoline is a nightmare. Who wants to sit in an hour, 90-minute commute, 45-minute commute one way when gas is over $4 a gallon? Nobody wants to do that, right? The used car market is obscene right now. Supply chain issues, chip issues associated with used cars means manufacturers can't produce the vehicles fast enough. Supply and demand issue. When there's not enough vehicle inventory out there, prices are going to escalate. Wait until you get your personal property tax bill from your local treasurer's office, your commissioner of revenue's office. Your personal property tax bill is going to be 25% higher than it's ever been. 25% higher than last year on average, because the used car market is out of control and commissioners of revenue have to value vehicles and personal property on fair market value. Never in American history has the used car market appreciated in value. It normally depreciates. Now it's appreciating, it's going up because we don't have enough vehicles out on the road. Not enough vehicles to buy and sell. So you got a collision of key performance indicators, KPIs, high interest rates, a lack of housing affordability, the ability to work from anywhere via an ISP, employers offering flexibility to their employees where they can work, used car market out of control, inflation trending at 8% plus. People are going to get savvy and they're going to get smart and they're going to ask themselves, where in the good Lord's name can I live, work, and play where my hard-earned income stretches the furthest? And there's no question it's in that Danville region. I've never been more bullish or positive about the comeback city than I am over the last 30, 45 days. A casino, creating jobs, and big-time revenue for the jurisdiction. A group of counselors that are willing to innovate and take some chances. A group of counselors that understand the capacity or the needs or the importance of additional rooftops, apartment complex coming downtown. And I'm frankly left scratching my head for leadership in my hometown. And I'm asking respectfully, imploring respectfully, being persistent. And I'm saying, councilors and supervisors in Albemarle and Charlottesville, you gotta follow suit with your policy. And you must lead from an incremental tax revenue mentality. New sources of revenue for the jurisdiction. Caesars, new source of revenue for Danville. Designated outdoor refreshment area, new source of revenue for Danville. Apartment complex downtown, new source of revenue for Danville. The concept of funding jurisdictions through existing sources of revenue, specifically real estate and personal property taxes, is the definition of gentrification and undoubtedly will yield wealthy and homogeneous outcomes. And if council and the board of supervisors locally want a demographic of strictly wealthy people and a demographic that's homogeneous in its look, keep leading and keep taxing real estate and personal property taxes. But as a father of a 4-year-old, I want my little boy, our little boy, my wife does as well, to grow up in a diverse and an eclectic community with look and mindset. And for that to be the case, you better find some new sources of revenue. And you better do it quickly. Because the assessments, the personal property tax rate, the real estate tax rate, inflation, cost of fuel, the Zoom town mentality, things are changing real quick around here. Really quickly around here. Giddy up and get ready. For Councilman Lee Vogler, for Judah Wickhauer, our director, my name is Jerry Miller, and this is the I Love CVille Show on a Friday. Keep your business local, keep it in the community, and support the mom and pops you want to survive. We may be in an endemic stage with this COVID situation, but our locally owned businesses have not nearly recovered. Keep it local. Take care, guys.